Today is Tuesday, August 2nd, 2025, and this is Read Through the Bible.
Okay, so do you remember being in Sunday school at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
And do you remember hearing stories about Bible characters?
Nothing stands out to me.
Yeah,
I'm sure I did.
Yeah, I am sure I did, but nothing stands out to me either. I grew up in the Methodist church when I was a little boy.
Yeah.
And who knows how much Bible I got there. And you don't remember. You remember what?
Well, yeah, what I remember is a series of books that we had at home. They were the Arch books, like they were Bible stories, and we even had some of them with cassettes or records. We had some records that went along, and like was a little audio book that went along with it. And so the Bible stories I remember most from childhood are from all those Arch books, and we actually have them.
Did you take them from
California?
Yeah,
they're on our shelf over there.
Well, I've seen them. I think they're
those
really
are the
good
ones
books. They're like
I grew up
rhyme and
with.
meter.
Yeah,
really
they're kind
nice.
of fun, like the Braggy King of Babylon, and the little boy who gave his lunch away. And
wow, you know them really well.
I know the titles, yeah.
Okay, so I mentioned that because we're going to read some basic Sunday school stories today. I know at least at our church today, the kids and the teachers are going over these sorts of stories with the kids. It's about Samson, and we're going to read about his riddle today, and we're going to read about just killing 1,000 with a donkey draw. This guy is a savage of a man. So
yeah, he is.
Okay, well let's read about him. Here we go.
Okay, chapter 14, verse 1. Samson. So we read about his birth yesterday from chapter 13, and the angel came and said that he would be born to a barren woman. Okay, so Samson went down to Timnah, and at Timnah he saw one of the daughters of the Philistines. Then he came up and told his father and mother, I saw one of the daughters of the Philistines at Timnah. Now get her for me as a wife. But his father and mother said to him, Is there not a woman among the daughters of your relatives or among all our people that you must go take a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines? But Samson said to his father, Get her for me, for she is right in my eyes.
This sort of kind of shows the character of Samson. He's a womanizer for sure.
And
that's what he wants.
And not submissive to his parents at all. He's demanding. He's telling them what he wants them to do for him.
His father and mother did not know that it was from the Lord, for he was seeking an opportunity against the Philistines. At that time, the Philistines ruled over Israel.
Okay, so that's who's oppressing them right now. That's who's oppressing the Israelites.
The judges. So here's the Savior who's risen up, Samson, to deliver them.
Verse 5. So then Samson went down with his father and mother to Timnah, and they came to the vineyards of Timnah, and behold, a young lion came toward him roaring. Then the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and although he had nothing in his hand, he tore the lion to pieces as one tears a young goat. But he did not tell his father or mother what he had done. Then he went down and talked with the woman, and she was right in Samson's eyes.
And after some days he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees in the body of the lion, and honey. He scraped it out into his hands and went on, eating as he went. And he came to his father and mother and gave some to them, and they ate. But he did not tell them that he'd scraped the honey from the carcass of the lion. And so, he was able to, kill this lion with his own hands. It was amazing.
That's, supernatural strength.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Verse 10, his father went down to the woman, and Samson prepared a feast there, for the young men used to do. As soon as the people saw him, they brought 30 companions to be with him. So maybe these are kind of like wedding guests?
Maybe.
And Samson said to them, Let me now put a riddle to you. If you can tell me what it is within the 7 days of the feast and find it out, then I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes. But if you cannot tell me what it is, then you shall give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes. And they said to him, Put your riddle, that we may hear it. And he said to them, Out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. And in 3 days they could not solve the riddle.
On the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife, Entice your husband to tell us what this riddle is, lest we burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you invited us here to impoverish us? And Samson's wife wept over him and said, You only hate me and you do not love me. You have put a riddle to my people, and you have not told me what it is. And he said to her, Behold, I have not told my father nor my mother, and shall I tell you? She wept before him the 7 days that their feast lasted. And on the 7th day he told her, because she pressed him hard. And then he told the riddle to she told the riddle to her people. And the men of the city said to him on the 7th day, before the sun went down, What is stronger than honey? What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion? And he said to them, If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have found out my riddle. Yep, talking in parables. Mm-hmm. And the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon and struck down 30 men of the town and took their spoil and gave the garments to those who had told the riddle. In hot anger, he went back to his father's house, and Samson's wife was given to his companion, who had been his best man.
So, this seems like such an overreaction. Yes. First of all, okay, so maybe they will like telling riddles. That might have been a fun thing in their culture. But the stakes were so high, and then he goes and kills 30 men just to get their clothes so that he can appease these guys?
I think that's the point of Judges. This is a bizarre story and people doing what's right in their own eyes.
And just such overreactions.
Yeah, so a summary here is Samson's marriage and riddle.
Yep.
If you want to record the riddle, I think that'd be good. Out of the eater came something to eat. Now the strong came something sweet. So out of the lion came honey, and out of the strong lion came the honey. It's just two of the same thing.
You could also say Samson's Philistine wife, because he married a woman of the Philistines, which I think is significant.
Yep. Okay, chapter 15, another Sunday school story.
Okay. After some days, at the time of wheat harvest, Samson went to visit his wife with a young goat. And he said, I will go into my wife in the chamber. But her father would not allow him to go in. And her father said, I really thought that you utterly hated her, so I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister more beautiful than she? Please take her instead. And Samson said to them, This time I shall be innocent in regard to the Philistines when I do them harm.
Well, just imagine you're coming back to your wife and your wife's been given away.
Sure. But here he's going to overreact and take it out on a lot of people.
Sure. Well, that's not, yeah.
But yeah, he's angry. Although, yeah, okay. It's just riddled with problems.
It is, yes.
Okay, so verse 4. So Samson went and caught 300 foxes and took torches.
Okay.
How you find 300 foxes and catch them, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he turned them tail to tail and put a torch between each pair of tails. That's amazing right there.
And how you do that too, yep.
I don't know. And when he had set fire to the torches, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines and set fire to the stacked grain and the standing grain as well as the olive orchards. Then the Philistines said, Who has done this? And they said, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire.
Talking about overreaction, right?
Yeah, it's just a whole string of overreactions.
Killed his wife.
And verse 7, And Samson said to them, If this is what you do, I swear I will be avenged on you, and after that I will quit. And he struck them hip and thigh with a great blow, and he went down and stayed in the cleft of the rock at Etam.
Then the Philistines came up and encamped in Judah and made a raid on Lehi.
So now the Philistines are attacking people of Judah because of what Samson did.
And the men of Judah said, and he's not even from Judah.
Right.
He was born in Philistine territory in Dan, which is west of Judah.
Yeah, northwest of Judah.
Yeah, so they're coming in here. And the men of Judah said, Why have you come up against us? And they said, We have come up to bind Samson and do to him as he did to us. Well, maybe Samson was within the people of Judah.
Yeah, I think when Samson was hiding in the cleft of the rock of Etam, I'm guessing that's near where they were attacking.
Yep. And they said, We have come up to bind Samson and to do to him as he did to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cleft of the rock at Etam and said to Samson, Do you know that the Philistines are rulers over us? What then is this you've done to us? And he said to them, As they did to me, so have I done to them. And they said to him, We have come down to bind you, that we may give you into the hands of the Philistines. And Samson said to them, Swear to me that you will not attack me yourselves? And they said, No, we will only bind you and give you into their hands. We will surely not kill you. So they bound him with 2 new ropes and brought him up from the rock.
Okay. There's a lot of people involved in this disagreement. Okay, verse 14. When he came to Lehi, the Philistines came shouting to meet him. Then the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and the ropes that were on his arms became as flax that has caught fire, and his bonds melted off his hands. And he found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, and put it in his hand, and took it, and with it he struck 1,000 men. And Samson said, with the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey, I've struck down 1,000 men. Seems like he's boasting about that. Yep. Verse 17, as soon as he had finished speaking, he threw away the jawbone out of his hand, and that place was called Ramath Lehi.
And he was very thirsty, and he called upon the Lord and said, You have granted this great salvation by the hand of your servant, and shall I now die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised? And God split open the hollow place that is at Lehi, and water came out from it. And when he drank, the spirit returned. He revived. Therefore, the name of it was called En-Hakkore. It is at Lehi to this day, and he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. All right, if we just sum up chapter 15, it's basically Samson against the Philistines with 300 foxes. That's all I have, like catching the foxes, tying the torch between foxes and torches maybe, with 300 of them, and 1,000 killed with a donkey jawbone.
Yeah, so Samson's fighting with the Philistines here.
Yeah, it is interesting also just how increasing it was. So at first he killed 30 men in order to get the change of garments, right, to Ashkelon, and now he's up to 1,000 men.
Well, then he torched those fields, and then
to 1,000 men. So it started with 30 men, and now he's 1,000 men, and we're going to see tomorrow in his death he killed 3,000 Philistines. So it's almost like it's getting worse and worse and worse. He's killing more and more people all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.